This is Brian, and welcome back to this commentary playthrough of The Legend of Zelda. Yeah, hopefully we should be able to finish up today. I've explored most of the final dungeon. Still need the red ring, and then we need to get to the boss. I mean, I probably don't need the red ring, but I would certainly like to have it. Okay. That's what I was hoping for. And then, yeah, to buy the medicine here. A whole 2 rupees to spare. Once more, and hopefully the last time. Yeah, because what do I have left? Somewhere around 10 or 11 rooms to go into. I don't need the berry anyway, I guess, but I think I want to keep going left for a couple more rooms, all the way until I get over to the far side. Okay, good enough. What do we got in here? Yeah, these guys. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think, yeah, let's just go straight up through this. Because I think this was the room where I had the red guys that can take your sword. But I should just be able to head back here and then push the block and go up. At least that's the idea. And here, I'm just gonna move on as fast as I can. Okay, this is the part where I think I kind of just ran away because I saw the Wizroads and the red guys. But I didn't even notice last time that there was a blue guy in there. That would have saved me a little bit of trouble. But, oh well. Now, I don't think I need to mess with those guys either, necessarily. This isn't going to be too hard to clear out, so just in case they drop a good item or something, I'll check it out. No. Alright, so I haven't been up from here. Go to the next room. Okay. I remember this being a little bit of a trap, kind of. Because you can go to either side, I think. And if you go to the right, which I've already been over there, you can't get back through that way. But I think this one, you can go back through if you want to, but I don't think I need to. Okay. Nothing from those guys, I guess. Want to take these guys out, or do I want to just go up? I don't really... At this point, I kind of think I just want to Skip them. Okay. One of these guys. At least this time I have my sword, though. Actually, the rod takes them out faster anyway, I think. Which block? There are 2 more rooms over here, though. Can I push through? Yeah, I kind of thought so. Okay. I think this might be the ring. Yeah. That'll help with my damage, at least. Although, at this point, there isn't much left to do. Guess it'll help in the Ganon fight, at least. Try not to use my medicine until I get over there. And if I would have to guess, that should mean that this will get me over to Ganon's area. Okay, yeah, so this... I don't think I need to take these guys out. I was kind of just doing it more so to get them out of my way as I try to figure out if I need to push through the wall or bomb through it over here. Okay, so there is one room up in the upper left that I never went into, but I don't think it should matter. I just got 3 rooms left here. One's the Triforce room, and one's the boss room for Ganon, I guess. Ah. Even though I'm taking a lot of hits, the red ring really helps out. Hey, thank you. Pretty sure I got Ganon in the next room here. Let's go ahead and make sure I'm ready. I think I should be. I got 1 medicine left and full life. Alright, let's have at it. I think he's the same as he was in the first. You just gotta try and find him and hit him and then shoot him with the arrows. Okay, the first hits, I think... Like, you don't actually shoot him, I guess, until he turns orange, or at least that's what happens in what happened in the first quest. And that was after, like, 4 or 5 hits. I guess I have no real reason to believe it's any different here. Nope, seem to be. Considering the difficulty of the levels getting through in the second quest, he almost seems kind of anticlimactic. Thanks, Link. You're the hero of Hyrule. For the second time. Finally, peace returns to Hyrule. This ends the story. Yeah, I don't think you get an option to do, like, any further. Like, there isn't a third quest or anything like that, I don't think. So we'll just let the credits roll again. I don't know if there's anything different about that either. Huh. You were great, Link. 53 deaths, maybe? You have an amazing wisdom and power. End of The Legend of Zelda 1. It's like the, is that originally in the original version? Like they already knew at that point that they were going to make more than one Zelda? Or is that just a translation I got in this version? I don't know. Kind of odd. Never really thought about it before. And like I said, I haven't beaten this all the way through both quests that many times. Once or twice only. Well, I'll just give a short review, I guess, then. And we'll go ahead and call it good for the first Zelda game. So, like I usually do, just have a few points that I took notes on. Just a few points to hit in my review for some negatives and some positives. Mostly positive. The negative things I have for a game like this are mostly nitpicks and personal preferences. But I suppose that's a lot of what most reviews are. So. Anyway, I really enjoyed the exploration aspect of the game, especially on a first-time playthrough, and if you're not utilizing maps or something, it is a pretty open world that you can just go around in and do a lot of bombing and burning, and trying to find all the secrets and everything. And there are a lot of secrets that I certainly didn't even show off. A randomizer, I think, takes better advantage of all that, because you can randomize all the entrances and everything, so then you really have no idea where the dungeons are gonna be, so you gotta check everything. So I think that's kind of interesting, and I like that. Next, I do like the fact that you do have 2 sword upgrades, but they make whether or not you can pick them up dependent upon how many heart containers you have. I thought that's a pretty nice touch. And it makes it so that, like, if you don't know where the hearts are hidden on the world map, you're gonna have to beat quite a few more dungeons before you can pick up the next sword then, so make it a little harder for you. And if you want to challenge yourself that way, you can just refrain from picking up the hearts, maybe. I guess, I mean, you never have to get the sword upgrades at all if you don't want to. I am not good enough at the game to try anything like that. Or maybe I should say I'm not patient enough, because I'm sure if I tried long enough I could make it through it, but yeah, a lot of dying. Another thing is, the fact that they put in the second quest, even though it is basically the same game, they do add in a few changes as well, so I thought that was nice, that they have stuff that's like only in the second quest. Like the fact that you can push through walls, that's pretty... It can be pretty frustrating. Especially if you didn't know that's a thing. Tried bombing walls, but you just weren't finding anything. I don't know how you'd figure that out. Maybe there are some NPCs that would give you information on that. I don't know. I didn't come across any, but then again, I didn't really look for hints. So, let's see. Oh, another thing with the second quest. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating at times, but I do like the fact that they put in stuff like the blue and the red guys in this one. And the taking away the sword and giving it back. Kind of an interesting aspect. So as much as it could get frustrating, I do appreciate that in there, just to change it up a little bit. Also, for such a simple and early game in the series, I like the weapon variety and the item variety. It was pretty good. For the most part. There's one exception, but I'll touch on that on my nitpicks. Like the fact that you get the rod, bow and arrows, boomerang, and 2 boomerangs even. That was nice. The last thing I wanted to mention, for the more positive parts of the game, are the way they do the arrows in this game. I think when I was going through it, I might have commented that I didn't like it necessarily, but after going through it and thinking more about it, I do kind of appreciate, I think, the fact that they just used 1 rupee for every shot you took with the arrows, instead of, like, making you find arrows. I think that would have been almost interesting if you could have done something similar with the bombs. Maybe just, like, spending 5 rupees for a bomb or something instead. Because at times that really made it pretty hard to... It was pretty hard to find bombs, especially if you only had, like, the 8. Especially considering some of those bosses that you needed them for. And I guess that takes me into the nitpicks or negatives I have. Cons, I guess. First one I wanted to mention, and it's not a huge deal, and a lot of older games tended to have something like this, but it was kind of annoying that you had a rupee limit of 255. Especially considering how expensive some things were. Like the blue ring was 250, it's like that's almost your max. And like the bomb upgrades cost a lot, shield and the meat cost a lot. And I guess that takes me to another thing that I didn't like so much. And this was part of the second quest only, but I didn't like the troll rooms that they put in there, where you got the guy that makes you give him your money or your life. An armed robbery. I guess I don't hate that they put it in there, but I don't know, I'd rather not. Just because, especially with money being as scarce as it was, and I never like giving up hearts. Even though, I mean, you could do that. Which kind of goes in line, I guess, when they give you the heart pieces, they give you the option of getting the medicine or the heart container. Like, I don't know why you would take the medicine, especially when you can buy it. But early on in the game, I'm sure some people probably didn't necessarily realize that. Maybe. And another thing I wanted to touch on. I did mention that I liked the items and the weapons, but there was one exception. And that exception is the book. I get that it can be useful to let your rod light up some of the dark rooms, but other than that, I don't know, I think I'd rather just have the rod for the damage it does. And the way that when you use the fire then, it causes damage to you if you run into it. Whereas with the regular rod, that wouldn't be happening. So, I don't know. There might be some different opinions on that, but I think I've heard quite a few people say that they didn't really like the book. So, take it as you will. The last 2 nitpicks I have are just probably more of my style of gameplay, but they're dealing with some of the enemies. I have 2 enemies in particular that I really just don't like. Not to fault the game necessarily, and I guess they add to the challenge of it, but the Dark Nuts and the Wizrobes. You guys could be a pain in the ass, especially the blue ones. I got a little better at the Dark Nuts as I went through, I guess. Especially in the rooms that didn't have the fireballs shooting at you. That was the worst. If you get a room full of Dark Nuts or a room full of Wizrobes and then you have those balls going around that take away your sword, and you have fireballs shooting at you. Yeah, not really a fan of that. But overall, I'd say I am a huge fan of the game. For such a simple, just regular NES game, it had a lot going. I mean, I ended up putting about, what, 10 hours into it between first and second quest? So, for back then, I mean, it's a pretty good length, I think. And considering, like, if you didn't know where things were, it'd probably take at least twice that much to beat it. So, yeah. Overall, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it somewhere around a 7.5 or an 8. It's not nearly as good to me as, like, A Link to the Past or Link's Awakening are, but it's still pretty high up there. And if I was going on, like, compared to other regular NES games, it's one of the best ones, I think. Funny thing is, I never really beat it when I was a kid. I didn't have it initially, I didn't own it, so once I did finally get access to it, I didn't have any guides or anything. And I just remember the first time I played it, I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing or anything. I didn't know much about Zelda at all. So I just kind of ran around and couldn't figure out where to go and gave up on it after like a half hour or an hour. But once I had played some of the later games in the series, I went back to it and actually enjoyed it quite a bit. So. Anyway, that's it for the first Legend of Zelda. Now, what are we going to do next in this time slot? I think what I'm going to do is I am going to go back to Mario for just one more game, and then we'll switch back and forth probably. And maybe go to another Mega Man game after that. Or maybe to Zelda 2. But next one I'm going to do is Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES. I know that one ranks up there fairly high in the Mario series, especially for the retro ones. So I'm not going to try to be as thorough as I was for Super Mario World, but I am going to try to go through all of the levels at least, or all of the worlds. Maybe not get everything in every world, but I'm not going to like use whistles to warp or anything. I'll try to just go straight through. I actually haven't beaten that game as many times as I have like Super Mario World, but I have beaten it. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this playthrough and are looking forward to more, please like, comment, and subscribe or follow, and we'll catch you next time.